follow me on this channel, the video I did yesterday, I talk about Nigeria invading Benin Republic. And I talk in that video, I said that if Beninese soldiers, if they are as brave as some other country, that it will not be an easy thing the way Nigeria, invaded their country. Though they said it is the president, that is Patrick Talon, that invited them. But another twist to that is that there is a problem now for Nigerian officer, that is naval officers. There's a serious problem for them because 11 of them is in prison as we are talking right now in Burkina Faso. 11 of them, including the airplane C-130, is also impounded in Burkina Faso now. What happened is that Nigeria, during their course of operation in Benin Republic, they mistakenly enter Burkina Faso, airspace. And you know that Traore doesn't joke with anything called airspace. He doesn't joke with anything. So they impound Nigerian naval airplane. The reason is that they said that they unlawfully entered their airspace. That is why they detained 11 of them as we are talking right now. Like I said yesterday, I said big brothers. Nigeria, we are big brothers to some countries in Africa. But now, when deliverer need deliverance, that is what is happening now. I don't want to waste much of our time. You are welcome to ICN TV. You have a lot to discuss in this morning edition. We have a lot to discuss today. Let me quickly read that out so that many of us will understand how the thing before we now play the video evidence. You are welcome, ICN TV. You are welcome. This is ICN TV. Let me quickly read it out because a lot of people, they have been calling me, ICN. Did you hear that they impound Nigeria? Yes. Nigerian troop head in Burkina Faso after unfriendly emergency landing. That is what happened. According to the newspaper today, all the newspaper, they have carried it. So, all the newspaper, they have carried it. So, let me quickly read that. It's 11 Nigerian military personnel are being held in Burkina Faso after Nigerian plane reportedly entered Burkina airspace without authorization on Monday. That is when they are, moving around to, chase the coup plotters in Benin Republic. That is when they mistakenly enter their airspace. And, Traore doesn't joke with all these things. So, and thereby, they ask them to, land immediately. So, Nigerian airplane reportedly entered Burkina airspace without authorization on Monday. The latest twist in a region enmeshed in multiple political and security crises. In a statement on Monday evening, the Breakaway Alliance of Sahel State, that's AES of Burkina Faso, is a member alongside Mali, Niger, said the C-130 transport aircraft had made an emergency landing in Bobo du Lasso. That is the area where they made emergency landing. So, in a statement, Assimi Goïta, the Malian junta president and the leader of AES, called the landing an unfriendly act carried out in defiance of international law. He directed the authority in the member country to act to neutralize any aircraft that would violate the Confederal space in future. So, that is exactly what happened now. They said that they entered their airspace unlawfully and thereby asked them to arrest all of them. They arrest all of them. As we are talking right now, they've impounded all of them in Burkina Faso. Now, as we are talking. And like I said in the video I made yesterday, I said that if the coup plotters, though nobody supports them, but if the majority support them and the coup plotter, they are strong, like in Burkina, Mali, and Niger, that Nigeria, it will have turned to a counter attack because they too will not find this so easy. As we can see in some videos, we can see that the Beninese soldiers too, they try to repair, they try to shoot. What if they eventually shoot down the Nigerian airplane? The people, the personnel, and everything, then according to the Musa said that a precision bomb it cost about 150 million naira. Only God know how many they drop at Benin on Sunday. Only God knows. And we have problem in our country. We have problem in Borno, in Zamfara, in Katsina, in Jos, in Southern Kaduna. It seems that Nigerian, you can see now that who is now fooling who now. You can see, you look as if Nigerian government, we don't have the capacity. Even when America said they want to invade, some people are saying we are sovereign nation. They cannot invade us, but Nigeria can invade another country. You can see power pass power now. So when America now that has all the power say they want to invade, we are shouting. But Nigeria uses its own power to invade another country. And Burkina Faso now show Nigeria that, okay, you can invade Benin Republic. Oh. Don't use style to come and invade our country too. Because as it is now, they are still there in Burkina Faso because a lot of investigation is ongoing. Why? Is that you know that all these countries like Mali, Niger, even including Benin, they are under French colony. So, and these three countries, they are no longer there. They've been on their own. And, French, especially Macron, is not happy with what is happening there. And they know that Nigerian president is in contact with French president. So that is why you will not see AES country. They will not take anything lightly. Either mistake, either it is genuine, either it is by anything. They don't want to hear anything, especially from Nigeria, because they know what Nigeria can do. You remember there was a time when Nigeria cut off the electricity from Niger Republic, despite the fact that they have agreements. Nigeria cut it because the river Niger, the dam, they said that Nigeria they have an agreement that they should not the Niger people should not disturb the water so that it can flow freely to Nigeria, and Nigeria will supply them back electricity. But during President Tinubu's this thing, they cut it, and since that time Niger have not been finding it, so they don't even like Nigeria, if I may say that, because of that singular act, because they said that many people die in their hospitals. It affected a lot of companies, a lot of people was affected that time. And since then, when they hear Nigeria, they don't want to take it easy with Nigeria again. And that is why they said that anything, they have made the law, that is in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, that if any unauthorized plane from Nigeria, from Ghana, from any other countries enter their airspace, they will force it down. They have air defense system now, very working perfectly. I think they acquire it from Russia and which other country is that? Is it Turkey or something? They have a very strong one that if anything enter their airspace, they will quickly know and they will bring it down. But in Nigeria, we can see bandits, what do you call it, choppers and all this moving food up and down. They said they cannot trace them. They cannot trace them. Look at what happened now. And that is what we are saying. Even all these smaller countries, I've been saying it, I said that if Nigeria were too big to govern, it's better we separate so that all of us will be on our own. I say, okay, you are welcome. If you are too big, so that we can manage our resources. Look at all this country now. That's why the fact that Nigeria may have good intention, they may mistakenly, because Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, together with Benin Republic, they share borders. So it may be a mistake that they mistakenly enter their airspace. So instead of them to tell them that, they give them warning that, you are entering AES airspace, so you have to go back, according to their own military. I'm not a military personnel. You have to give them warning to go back. Maybe they still continue, and that is why they have to force them to land, or else they will shoot them down. As we are talking right now, they are still there. But what we are saying is that if those small countries can be doing something great like all those giants, like all those big countries, what is now delaying, what is making it difficult for us to get this thing right in Nigeria? The bandit can just fly a helicopter anywhere across Nigeria, and they will be telling us they can't trace them. That's why whether they have number, they have everything, they will tell us they cannot trace them. Look at what is happening now. They will tell us they cannot trace them. And a lot is happening as we are talking right now. A lot.
Today, what we're discussing right now is one of the most dramatic and consequential military diplomatic incidents West Africa has seen in recent months, an event that has thrown Nigeria, Burkina Faso, and the entire region into a fresh storm of tension, uncertainty, and urgent questions about the future of regional stability. Tonight, we take a deep dive into the shocking detention of 11 Nigerian Air Force personnel after their C-130 Hercules aircraft made an emergency landing in Bobo-Dioulasso, Burkina Faso. This story is not just about a plane. It is about trust, politics, power, and the fragile ties holding West Africa together. It all began in the skies, tens of thousands of feet above ground, when distress signals began flashing inside the cockpit of the C-130 Hercules. Picture this: alarms buzzing, controls shaking, pilots exchanging sharp, tense words as they fought to stabilize a massive military aircraft spiraling into technical trouble. They had seconds, not minutes, to make a life or death decision. With engines straining and systems warning of imminent failure, they diverted course and descended toward the nearest airstrip capable of handling such a heavy aircraft, Bobo-Dioulasso in Burkina Faso. But what should have been a routine emergency landing instantly transformed into the opening scene of a regional political drama. The moment the wheels of that C-130 touched the runway, it was no longer only about mechanics. It became a diplomatic flashpoint. Allied officers in Burkina Faso rushed to the aircraft, treating the Nigerian crew not as distressed personnel, but as suspects. Within hours, all 11 of them were detained, accused of illegally entering AES-controlled airspace without authorization. In a region already bristling with mistrust and shifting alliances, every move is viewed through the lens of suspicion, competition, and political alignment. To fully understand this crisis, we must look beyond the runway. The Alliance of Sahel States, AES, led by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, has recently distanced itself from ECOWAS and has aligned more closely with alternative security blocs. In this climate, the Nigerian military aircraft didn't land in neutral territory. It landed in politically charged airspace. The Burkinabe authorities handled the incident with rigid intensity, sealing off communication, detaining the crew immediately, and signaling that any breach, intentional or not, would not be taken lightly. For them, this was not just a malfunctioning aircraft. It was a potential violation of sovereignty. But for Nigerians watching this unfold, the emotional impact is massive. These are our men, our pilots, engineers, and servicemen, people with families who kissed them goodbye, not knowing they would be held in a foreign military facility. Imagine their wives refreshing their phones every minute, parents whispering prayers in the early hours of the morning, and children asking, "When is daddy coming home?" This is not just a geopolitical story. It is human, it is personal, and it strikes deep into the heart of a nation already burdened by insecurity, rising tensions, and a leadership struggling to stabilize itself. This detention challenges Nigeria's influence in West Africa. A nation that once commanded respect as a stabilizing force now finds itself questioned, resisted, and in many cases undermined. And this is happening at a time when Nigeria's internal political climate is deeply fragile. With rising insecurity at home, economic pressures squeezing citizens, and public confidence in government declining, an international embarrassment of this scale only intensifies national frustration. This moment forces us to ask deeper questions. How did we get here? Why is Nigeria's regional authority weakening? And what does it mean when our military personnel operating an aircraft in distress are treated as intruders instead of neighbors? It highlights the growing fragmentation of West Africa, the collapse of trust among nations, and the dangerous speed at which alliances are shifting. We must also acknowledge the real-world consequences. Diplomatically, Nigeria now has to negotiate from a position of vulnerability. Militarily, morale is shaken. Regionally, the path forward is uncertain. But this crisis also presents an opportunity for Nigeria to rethink its foreign policy, to rebuild strategic alliances, and to strengthen its internal leadership so that our nation can once again project stability, clarity, and purpose. We need communication channels between nations that prioritize human lives over political tensions. We need a Nigeria that speaks with moral authority, backed by transparent governance and strong institutions. We need diplomatic professionalism that prevents emergencies from becoming international incidents. Most importantly, we need a government that carries the trust of its people, because no nation can lead abroad when it is divided at home. As we wait for these 11 officers to be released, Nigeria must push for dialogue, accountability, and respect for international aviation protocols. This crisis must not be allowed to widen the geopolitical cracks already threatening West Africa. Instead, it must push us toward cooperation, clarity, and renewed unity. My people, this is a wake-up call, not just to policymakers, but to all Nigerians. If we truly want a safer and more respected country, we must demand stronger leadership, active diplomacy, and a national mindset that prioritizes justice, security, and accountability. Thank you so much for watching.
ọ̀rọ̀ ńlá nìyẹn o, ọ̀rọ̀ ńlá. Many of them, their wife, their children will be asking them, when is daddy coming back home? Anyway, my belief is just that they cannot harm them. They may only detain them for some time. That's just it. And I'm very, very sure that they will talk it out. What's your own opinion concerning this? Nigerian 11 officer is being imprisoned, detained in Burkina Faso as we talk. We are talking right now. Likewise, our NAV-1 C-130 is also impounded in Burkina Faso now for unlawful entering the airspace of Burkina Faso. What's your own opinion? In the comment section, help us like the video, share the video. Thanks for watching.